because I had just seen her 2 weeks previous to that, and she hadn't been she wasn't that sick at all. She was very healthy.
She rolled out of bed dead. Really. Let me bring in my guest tonight. In Los Angeles, California, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert witness, and columnist of Inside the Criminal Mind, Dr. Carole Lieberman is with us. Let me ask you, Dr. Carole Lieberman, if you're dead, you're not rolling out of bed. It just doesn't work that way.
No, that would be a good trick. He really doesn't have his story together. You would have thought that before he made that 911 call, that he would have had it all together, how he was going to explain what happened. And, I guess that never occurred to him that dead people don't roll out of bed.
Unbelievable. Jason, Dr. Lieberman, does this strike you as a guy who's like, well, I know she's going to be dead soon, so she should be going around visiting family? Is that the way you're interpreting this? And if so, what does that tell us about Chad Daybell?
Well, I took that more to mean that he needed her out of the way so that he could be with Lori more or make some preparations more for what he was going to make happen. Not really that he was so concerned about, that she has these last days with her family before she dies.
Dr. Carole Lieberman, father seemed to have a lot of influence in Lori. Do you think where that self... the self-belief that she had, that she was special, she was a leader, and she wanted this power, came from the influence of her father, perhaps?
Yes, absolutely. You remember the other night I was saying that what makes women be attracted to bad boys is their dysfunctional relationship with their father, and we now see that her father is in a lot of ways like Chad. He set himself up as a leader, as, one of the 5%. Also, the cousin had said that that Lori was the golden girl of the family, that she was blonde and she was pretty and she was a cheerleader and she was the apple of her father's eye. And so, and she just believed everything that her father said. And so she was set up basically to be with a man who was like him.
Dr. Lieberman, do you think she wanted just to be with Chad, or did she want to be with Chad but wanted all these people to look up to them like, oh my goodness, these are just this amazing couple?
Well, yes, she wanted that, and she kind of expected that as being part of the 5%. Talking about her brother, Alex, the cousin had some interesting things to say about their relationship, Lori and Alex. And the cousin was trying to be tactful, not to go into too much detail, but she talked about the lack of sexual boundaries in the family. And it seemed like she was implying that there was this lack of sexual boundaries between Lori and Alex. And then she also talked about the father who was in prison for tax evasion, and also he was accused of sexual abuse. So that's another part of the story.
It absolutely is. Dr. Carole Lieberman, do you think if she had actually won the 2004 Mrs. Texas competition, she wouldn't have needed all of this, and that would have been enough affirmation in her life that, yeah, I was Mrs. Texas?
No, I think she still needed more and more. In fact, her cousin was saying how she needs and loves attention from the time that she was young, and that she's loving this attention now. That even though this is negative attention, that her, she could be in jail for the rest of her life and so on. That this is really feeding into her need for attention. And I also think that she did seduce Chad. I mean, he was married for 28 years. She was, very sexy and used that to manipulate him, just like she used all these other things, telling people that they're special. Getting back to the bad. Well, that's actually bad girls. Bad girls get their men by making them feel like the biggest stud on the planet.
Yeah,
and I think
including your brother.
Really,
including your brother. We're out of time tonight, but Dr. Carole Lieberman, thank you all so much. We'll see you again really, really soon.